I never believed I would be the kind of man who unraveled over a photograph. I was always steady, measured, grounded. My name is Callum Hayes. I am 43 years old, married for 12 years, and until recently, convinced that loyalty was something you either had or you didn't. I worked logistics for a shipping firm outside Manchester. Predictable hours, predictable life. My wife, Ilera, worked remotely in marketing, creative, energetic, always online. We balanced each other, or at least I thought we did. The photo appeared on a quiet Sunday afternoon while I was backing up files on our shared cloud. I wasn't snooping. I wasn't suspicious. It was labeled casually, like something that didn't matter. Just an image thumbnail sitting between receipts and screenshots. When I opened it, my chest tightened before my mind caught up. Ilera was sitting at a cafe table, her hand resting on the arm of a man I didn't recognize. Not a friendly lean. Not accidental. Intimate. Familiar. The way people touch when they assume no one is watching. I stared at it longer than I should have. Not angry. Not yet. Just confused. The background told me it wasn't recent. Summer clothes. Sunlight. Her hair longer. My first instinct was to rationalize. A coworker. A client. An old friend. I closed the laptop and went about my day, but the image stayed with me, like a splinter you can't stop pressing with your tongue. That night, after dinner, I asked her calmly. I didn't accuse. I didn't raise my voice. I said, I came across a photo today. Can you tell me who the man is? She froze for half a second, just long enough. Then she smiled, small and tight, and said, oh, that. She took a breath and told me it was someone from a conference years ago. Nothing serious. Nothing to worry about. She said it easily. Too easily. I wanted to believe her. I needed to believe her. So I nodded and let it go. Or at least I tried to. But something had shifted. Over the next few days, I noticed details I had ignored before. Her phone angled away from me. Late-night messages followed by sudden brightness in her mood. A distance that felt practiced, not accidental. I wasn't looking for betrayal, but once doubt enters, it starts connecting dots you didn't know were there. 3 nights later, I couldn't sleep. Ilera was already snoring softly beside me. I stared at the ceiling and realized something uncomfortable. The photo hadn't shocked me because it was unexpected. It shocked me because it confirmed something I had been quietly feeling for years. We hadn't been close in a long time. Not emotionally. Not physically. Our conversations were logistical. Groceries. Bills. Appointments. We existed parallel, not together. The next morning, I asked again. This time, I was direct. I asked her to tell me the truth. She sighed, like I was asking her to explain something obvious. She said the man's name was Rowan. She said she met him online during the pandemic. She said it started as talking, then turned into something more. Not physical at first. Emotional. She emphasized that word as if it was softer. Safer. She said the photo was from a weekend she told me was a work retreat. I listened without interrupting. My hands were steady. My heart was not. I asked the only question that mattered. How long? She looked at the floor and said, almost 3 years. 3 years. I did the math automatically. Birthdays. Holidays. The night my father died. She had been talking to another man through all of it. I asked why she stayed. She said she didn't want to hurt me. She said she was confused. She said our marriage felt empty and she didn't know how to fix it. She said Rowan made her feel seen. That word again. Seen. I realized then that she wasn't confessing. She was explaining, justifying, rewriting history in a way that placed the burden on me. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I stood up, slowly, and said I needed air. I walked for hours that day, past streets I'd lived on for a decade without really noticing. I thought about all the times I had tried to reconnect, the weekends planned, the conversations initiated, the effort quietly returned unanswered. I thought about how loneliness inside a marriage feels heavier than being alone. When I came home, Ilera was sitting at the table, eyes red, waiting. She asked what I wanted to do. I told her I was done pretending. I told her I wouldn't compete for someone who had already left. She said she never meant for it to go this far. I told her it always goes this far. Slowly, quietly, one choice at a time. The truth behind the photo didn't destroy me because she loved someone else. It destroyed me because I realized I had been holding together something that only existed out of habit. I slept in the guest room that night. For the first time in years, my chest felt light. Empty, but light. A week later, I moved out. No drama. No ultimatums. We agreed to separate and let lawyers handle the rest. Friends were shocked. They said we seemed fine. That's the problem with silence. It looks like peace from the outside. I still think about the photo sometimes. Not with anger, with clarity. It wasn't evidence of betrayal. It was proof of absence, of a marriage that ended long before anyone said goodbye. I didn't lose my wife that day. I found the truth and finally stopped lying to myself. Recovery did not come fast, but it came honestly. Each morning felt quieter, more real. I learned that dignity survives loss, that walking away can be an act of self-respect, and that sometimes devastation is simply the beginning of choosing yourself. That realization changed everything I thought knew.